Okay, so we're reviewing this active and passive voice. I want to review this for a few minutes. Well, you guys understood it pretty well yesterday, I think. Do you remember these examples? Yes? Put your hand up. Or you just stretch it? Figure. Okay. So, usually your sentences are in active voice, but sometimes passive voice is better. So we want to determine when passive voice is better than active voice. Right? When is passive voice better than active voice? You know any examples? Yes? Yeah. Good. Okay, so when it's not necessary to know who did the action, or maybe we don't know who did the action, something like that, right? For example, I'll be shot! Right? If you were shot, you get shot, you know who did it? Maybe not, right? I don't know. I mean, nobody's been, has anybody been shot here? Okay, but I mean, even if you see a war movie or something, the person gets shot, maybe they say, I've been shot, right? I've been hit. You received the hit. You don't know who did the action. You don't really care. Because the problem is that you got hit, right? You got shot, so passive voice is common there, right? I've been shot. How would you put this? So this is active or passive voice? Passive voice, I have been shot. Okay, so how do you put this in active voice? Who wants to do it? Somebody please put this in active voice. So this is passive voice. I've been shot. Passive voice. Put it in active voice. Someone has shot me. Thank you. So is it the same verb tense? Hello? Is it the same verb tense? Yeah, you can say verb tense, right? Someone has shot. So from the active voice to the passive voice, what's the object of the verb here? What is the verb? Had a shot. Okay. What is the verb tense? What is the verb tense? Present perfect. Okay, so present perfect. What's the object of the verb? Me. Shot me. So then you take the object of the verb and you make it the subject in the passive voice. Okay, now me becomes what? But what is me? No, but I mean, is it a noun? Is it a pronoun? What kind of pronoun? Object pronoun. Okay, so it's object pronoun here. It's an object, right? Okay, but when it becomes a subject, then you have to change it to subject pronoun, right? So then it is I've been shot. It's a passive voice. Active voice. Okay, what about these ones? The engine was raced by the mechanic. Passive voice. Okay. Then the spark plugs were disconnected by him. Active or passive? Do you think passive is better here, or should it be active?
Well, actually,
What are we really talking about here? What the mechanic is doing, right? You know, it's not like the engine is doing this. It's what the mechanic, okay, the mechanic raced the engine, the mechanic disconnect the spark plugs. So here I think it would be normal that it would be an active voice, right? Who's doing the action? That's what we're talking about, right? The car, the engine isn't doing it itself, right? Okay, who wants to put these in active voice? Okay, please. Do one. Who wants to do the next one? Okay. what you have to do. Remember, you have to take the object and make it the subject. How do you spell mechanic? Is that correct? Okay, good. So, what is the verb tense in the first one? Well, they're both the same verb tense. What is the verb tense? Past. Okay, the verb tense is past. How do you know that? So in the passive voice, the verb to be is going to be in the tense, and they're going to be in the correct tense. This is past tense. Okay, so then the active verb, right, the active voice, the verb has to be in the same tense, past tense. Okay. The past participle in the passive voice, it's always past participle. So that's not going to tell you the verb tense, right? You have to look at the verb to be to get the verb tense. This is always going to be passive past participle, right? The engine was raced. Okay, the mechanic raced the engine. The spark plugs were disconnected by him. Okay, then you change the object pronoun, becomes the subject pronoun, he. Then he disconnected the spark plugs. Good, you kept all of the words, so it has the same meaning. All right, good. Beautiful. Zeke changed the tire. Active or passive voice? Right. Zeke changed the tire. Tire can't change itself. Okay, active. Zeke changed the tire. Who wants to change that, please? Change that to passive voice. What is the verb tense? Here. Good. Thank you. Passive voice. So passive voice. The tire was changed by Zeke. So what do you think is better here, active or passive? Active, right? Zeke changed the tire. That makes sense. He's doing the action. Are we? The tire was changed by Zeke. Are we worried about the tire? So it's past tense. Was changed by Zeke. Now the next one. Auto workers produce 500 cars in Thailand every day. Is that active or passive? Active? Okay, so active. Who does the action? Okay, so active voice, the subject is the doer of the action. Who wants to put that in passive voice? Where did all the enthusiastic assistants go? Somebody else? Passive voice. Who? Come on. Take a chance. Have fun. Judy, you look like you want to go. You want to do it? Yes? No? What do you mean no? Okay, who? Hurry up. You gonna do it again? Hey, what's the matter? Yeah, you will? Okay. Okay, so it's simple. You have to take the, what? The object of the verb. Make the object of the verb the subject. So what's the object of, what's the verb? This is a verb. Produce. Okay, what's the object of produce? Produce what? Okay. Well, why not past participle? Past participle, right? Well, hang on a sec here. Everybody, Beam is putting 500 cars are produced by auto workers. Do we need to say that? By auto workers?
No.
Who else is going to produce cars? Bakers? Librarians? You know, so this is an example where passive voice is better because we don't need to say who does the action because it's obvious. Auto workers produce cars, right? It's not bus drivers, it's not teachers. I don't know how to do that, right? So this is a case, passive voice is better because you don't even have to say who did the action, okay? Good. Thank you. Passive. All right? Thank you. So this is a good example, right? Where it's not even important who does it. The important thing we're talking about here is how many cars are produced in Thailand every year or every day, right? 500 cars are produced in Thailand every day. It is auto workers produce. Okay, so this is, what tense is this? Simple present, so then the verb to be is in simple present. Okay, and it's plural, right? Cars are. Cars are. Here it's plural also because auto workers are. Auto workers is also plural. So here it would be produced. Right? If it was one car is produced, but it's probably more than that if they produce cars. Okay, and the last one. President Kennedy was killed by Lee Harvey Oswald. Okay, is this active or passive? Passive. Okay? This person did the killing, right? This is passive voice. Is it better to hear passive voice or active voice? Usually passive, right? Because who is the most important or famous person? President Kennedy. So when you hear the news, especially when it happened, it was simply President Kennedy was shot. President Kennedy has been shot. He has been killed. Okay? He was assassinated. Okay, it's passive voice, right? Because that's the big news. That's the big problem. That was the significant bad news for people at that time. Or it was bad news when anybody gets killed, really. So President Kennedy was killed, and then I guess, you know, they have conspiracy theories, but this person, Lee Harvey Oswald, was convicted of the crime, found guilty. So President Kennedy was killed by Lee Harvey Oswald. So that active voice, who wants to do that? Okay, please, Sanjay. Because if somebody asks who's Lee Harvey Oswald, then you would say in active voice, Lee Harvey Oswald. I mean, this is why this person is famous, for being a killer. What is that word? What is that word there?
begin with.
Okay. Active voice. Thank you. Okay, so what is the tense here? Past tense, okay, simple past. Okay, Lee Harvey Oswald killed President Kennedy. Okay, again, you take the object of preposition moving by and make it the subject.